y'all hear me? Oh shit, y'all can hear me. Spooky. All right, only 2 minutes behind. That's pretty good. Mic is all right. And hello, everybody. Make sure. Oh, God, nope. We don't want to see that yet. Or that. Oh, boy. Hello, everybody. A very, very early good morning to everyone all around the U.S., maybe even all around the world. Y'all can hear my mic, right? Okay, good. This, of course, is the Combot Collective. Bring everything you want to know from the world of robot combat, from the heavyweight class to the fleaweight class, from BattleBots to the live circuit. And yes, it is that time of the every other month. Once again, this is AMIDST the Havoc. Like I was saying, good morning to everyone, whether you're over in the East Coast, maybe even at NHRL right now, as probably just as we start speaking, the 3-pound qualifier brackets are kicking off, or even if you're way in the West Coast, it's still 6 a.m. over there. Get that sleep out of your eyes because we are talking robots. I am Sterling Brown, and for the next hour, we're going to be going through as much as we can about this bracket, talk about the robots to look out for in all 3 of our divisions, from the 3-pound division to the 30-pound division. Well, maybe not depth charge, obviously, a little bit over 30 pounds. We'll talk about winning predictions. We'll go over who has qualified for the finals. We'll go over storylines as well. Storylines we already talked about a little bit. If you follow us on our social media pages, we even made a post on Reddit talking about the 3 big storylines. And those 3 big storylines actually correlate with my predictions of who I think is going to win these 3 classes today. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. Oh, man. That's the first liquid beverage I've had today, and that felt very good. But I digress. Yes, here we are, August 12th, AMIDST the Havoc, getting ready for Norwalk Havoc here. What is this? 4th event of the season, I want to say. We had one in March. We had one in January, March, April, May, June. So maybe the 5th event? I'm not sure. But, yes. Lots of exciting robots. We're going to be going over a lot of them very soon, but perhaps the one I am most excited for. Let's start pulling up some info right here. When we start pulling up the brackets and everything, we start looking at things along that like, do keep in mind that this is a 480p stream, so we do have the link to the NHRL tournament brackets document in the description below. Be sure to follow it and check it out there. We're going to be going over a lot of the qualifying fights that are going to be happening early on. Maybe do a little bit of bracket building, see what fights are going to lead into one another. We're going to go through the NHRL chat, see if there's any major updates there. But I think one big update that we got to start talking about, as you can see here, going to this first prediction panel that I have set up. There's a censored out robot here. NHRL rookie Darkstar. NHRL rookie robots, certainly not a rookie team. This actually comes from my boy, Tony D'Ambrosio. I'm super excited about this. Obviously, we shout out this robot and this guy as much as we can, being that he is a supporter and a partner here at the Combot Collective. If you remember last month and you remember any other past NHRL event for the past few years, you will know about Blackbird, the very sleek 2-wheel drive egg beater drumbot. It just qualified for the finals. What was it, last event? Yeah, it was last event. Got 4th place. His daughter is going to be driving the robot from this point forward. And then Tony, he wants to move on to new projects. So we actually have a little bit of a scoop here to kick it off for all of you guys. Darkstar, the 12-pound version of Blackbird from Team Shreddit and from Omega Team. Bit of a double-double situation there. I was worried when I put the silhouette of Blackbird with a little question mark over it that it wasn't actually going to be this robot. But good news, everyone, as we now move over to our main overlay here. Where is it? Let me make sure the window is being captured correctly. Boom. There we go. Here's the TCC server real quick. If you guys don't have a Discord, or if you have a Discord, you're looking for servers to join, Combot Collective does have a server, as you can see here. All of our video updates get posted on this server before anywhere else, before they hit social media, before they hit any other pages, before they go on Reddit. We talk about them here. So if you're looking to talk to some other builders, share your robot designs, share your robot concepts, and be up to date with what the Combot Collective posts, be sure to follow, be sure to join that server. Of course, you're going to need a Discord account. That's not what we're here for. No, what we are here for is not that. This. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you all. I don't know if this is for the first time. I don't know if he said anything on any builder discords or on any Facebook pages or what have you, but this is Darkstar. Hello, Bot Jammer, by the way. Very good to see you here. He is an upcoming Roboteer. Very excited to see what he does. He has a little papercraft series. A fellow content creator. I'm proud of what he's accomplished in the few months he's been doing this. But yeah, here we go. This is Darkstar, and no, this isn't just a picture of the the 3-pound Blackbird. It truly is a 12-pound Blackbird. The design translated beautifully. I mean, we've seen it in the past with robots such as Sombra, Voxel as well. You know, it's a solid design to move upwards. Looks very good here. Still has that same logo, that same aesthetic. You know, here's a bit of a back shot. Look how chunky that armor is. That's the first thing I brought up to Tony when he showed me this picture for the first time. The robot looks fantastic. Ooh! Alternate Dimension is going to have the T.C.C logo on it. I love that. I mean, this looks fantastic. We got the Stinger logo right here. Team Feral Design, Special Projects Divisions. Probably because Zoe from Team Honeycracked, as it says right here, he wanted to make sure I made note of this. It is based on the 12-pound chassis of Aerostar, a robot from Team Honeycrack's Zoe, and has the it's too early, boys. With internal and armor mods. So a lot has been done to make this robot very solid. He wanted to make sure I give Zoe some credit here for this design. And you can definitely see the influence if you look at a robot like Aerostar. 1 second, y'all. You know, pulling up a picture right here real quick of, you know, a similar robot concept. I think we're looking at the picture of the robot right there. What are you doing, YouTube? Love a good technical difficulty. There we go. You can kind of see, you know, big similarity, and honestly, both of these robots. I believe this was a Honeycracked versus Honeycracked fight that happened, I want to say in March is what the video said. You know, we're going to be looking, I think, more at the one that just got thrown across the arena here in terms of, you know, the design, the shape of this robot. Well, maybe not. That robot's getting beat up. Yeah, my apologies. No, I'm over here talking about the completely wrong robot. Aerostar definitely the one on the winning side of things here. Not the one limping around with only one wheel working. And as you can see here, we won't watch too much of this video. That is a very much... No, never mind, it is Aerostar. I need to just not talk. Not looking too good right there for Aerostar. But hopefully it will be looking a lot better for Darkstar later today. I see why they went with the name Darkstar. That's pretty clever. I like it a lot. Very solid. Yeah, this is what I said. Make sure Zoe gets credit for providing a lot of the CAD to help us get this done. We were able to build the robot in about 7 days. That's honestly very impressive. Any speed build like that, you know, takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to get a robot like this working off the ground, making sure everything is smooth. And here's a great picture. You always love seeing the family photo. All the Blackbird family, you know, posed up with each other, side by side. We got Blackbird, we got Darkstar, we got 2 of the smaller versions. I think one of them is an Antweight. Looks fantastic, by the way. I'm super excited for Tony D'Ambrosio. Do not have Darkstar winning the 12-pound class just because it is a little bit of an unproven commodity. We never know what happens for these robots first time, but we'll see what goes down this event. We'll go over my actual prediction for the 12-pound class, 3-pound class, and what have you later on. As we go through the NHRL chat, we'll see if any other interesting developments, posts have been made here. Here's the schedule to look at. I'm not sure you guys can read this at all. Probably not. Zoom in a little bit. Probably doesn't help much at all. But yes, like I mentioned, 9 a.m. right now, the qualifying rounds for the 3-pound division have kicked off, and they're going to be going on until about 11 a.m. my time. We're going to start seeing some other robots get inside the arena in the bigger class. Maybe that's when we're going to be seeing Darkstar and the like. You know, around that time as well, we're going to see the first round, the start of the elimination bracket for the 3-pound class. And then, you know, middle afternoon, 3 p.m. and 2 p.m. for us Central Time folk. we're going to start getting to that top 16 in the 12-pound, 30-pound division. Not many 30-pound robots, I will say. Very interesting to see that. Felt like we had quite a few for the last couple of events. Not the case this time. Not many. We kind of see right here, Super Scope. All the University of Cincinnati robots have shown up to this event. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. It's a big storyline. Reset the camera there. What else do we have going on here in the chat for Norwalk Havoc? Very excited. Thank you all for anyone that got up early to watch AMIDST the Havoc with us today. Not really too much in terms of robot pictures. Nothing really being shared. Oh, I do have one thing I like to show off with everyone as we quickly go over to the Combot Collective's Instagram page here. Got some little blue-eyed boys. There's a lifter bot right there. Named Concord. I like that name. Let's see. It was a message sent to me by one of the teams competing at this event. Nothing conclusive here, thankfully. General message. Yes, from Team Phoenix. I don't know too much about this team, but they sent me some footage of their robot, or some CIDs, I should say. I believe this is for the 12-pound class. I might be incorrect. But look at this robot right here. Baby Grim. It looks absolutely fantastic. I always loved the fuchsia pink. Yep, here we go. 12 pounds, two-wheel drive, vertical spinner. Very much shades of Squire, who we've seen really tear it up in the 30-pound division for NHRL the last couple of months, especially at the most recent event. I believe they made it all the way to the finals. If you want to follow this robot, they have an Instagram page. Baby Grim 12-pound. Look at that logo. Look at that mascot. That looks great. And, you know, while we're talking all about these 12-pounders, let's go ahead and jump into some bots to watch here, as we're almost a quarter already done with this live stream. I'm going to pick up the mic because I always get far away on accident when I do this stuff. And, of course, talking about hobby weights to watch here, you got to talk about the top-seeded robot in this group. NHRL, number 6 ranked overall right now. We've seen this style of robot really turn some heads over the past couple of years at Norwalk Havoc. First, it was Minimizer. I loved Minimizer, but now we've watched Maximizer from the University of Cincinnati just tear it apart. Super well armored, even better driven. It has destroyed some of the Team Defective robots that usually wreak havoc in these brackets. Team Defective, by the way, still very much a presence in this 12-pound division, with robots like Promheta and Voxel in their ranks among others at this event. I believe all their robots, except maybe one or two, I don't think Yobnal is qualified, other than that, have qualified for this event, the 2023 in November finals. So we'll just have to see what happens here. Another robot which has recently qualified for the finals. I shouldn't say recently, it happened all the way back in January. I think this is the first time we've seen this robot since January, is Yoshimi. Very classical design. Looks like an upscaled version of one of the 3-pounders we would see competing at NHRL quite a bit. Big shades of robots like ZZ Bot, Sepio 1, two-wheel drive, horizontal spinner. You know what? I'm glad that these machines like Maximizer, Yoshimi, Super Scope, Cthulhu, and the like have really broken into the 12-pound class, because entering this event and during so many of these AMIDST the Havoc streams, if you're a regular watcher, you know I'm always talking about how, you know, this is a class dominated by the vertical spinner. And outside of our boy Tony D'Ambrosio with Darkstar, you know, second spot there. I've already shown you that robot. Looks like the horizontal spinners are coming back. I mean, shit, that's 4 off the top of my head that have already qualified for the November finals, and I'm sure we're going to have more in this class before it's all said and done. One more that I would like to see qualify. I feel like they got kind of gypped out of 30-pound qualification last event. So even though they are coming from all the way from Washington, I'm glad to see that they're back. We got to talk about Kevin Milcheski with Timber Viper, Team Multiversal, the 68th ranked robot in NHRL right now. I doubt that's going to stay like that for long, boys. We're going to be talking quite a bit about some control bots in this field in both the 3-pound and 30-pound class. Of course, Jesus Christ, the name is that was escaping me. Red Storm. I wanted to say Blood Viper, but that's not correct. No, Red Storm is the name of the 30-pound version of Timber Viper. aka Claw Viper, the formerly named Siegebreaker. It's been quite a year for Team Multiversal. You know, we've seen Claw Viper really tear it up inside the battle box this year. Made it all the way to the top 32. Had probably the biggest breakout season of anyone this year at BattleBots. And now we got Timber Viper. Looked great last time. Came so close to qualifying. Same with Red Storm. Came even closer to qualifying and missed its chance. Very excited to see how these robots play out today. I want to see some suplexes from Timber Viper. It's a shame that there's no, like, out of the arena zone, no place for a control bot to really, you know, decommission an opponent inside the House of Havoc's arenas. Obviously, we don't want to pit. We don't want anything like that. But out of the arena corner pocket would be a little neat. Maybe something like we saw at Labman Fight Fest with a little bit more lenient of rules in terms of out of the arenas. But I'm not Austin McCord. I'm not the arena guy. I can't say what I think would work and what wouldn't. But that's our 12-pounders to watch out for in this class. As let's go. Maybe with these 4 robots, some of the others that we just talked about, like Cthulhu and Super Scope, 2 other robots you should definitely look out for, have done in this, or what they will be doing in this competition today. Here are the qualifiers. If you get very used to this graphic here, obviously probably hard for you guys to see, so I do have this linked in the description below. Be sure to follow along with us here. Let's try to zoom in a little bit, huh? Give you guys something to see here. And here we go. Yes, first in the 12. I don't pick up this mic often enough. In the 12-pound division, you know, we're looking at Maximizer, Super Scope, Cthulhu, Promheda, Torrential, and Yoshimi. I believe all robots which have already qualified for the November finals, all in that boss class. They're all waiting for a different opponent to face. So who's fighting who? As we look at some of these matches set up here, we have Amphisbiena taking on Darkstar. I heard someone say that Amphisbiena is a very good robot. It's competed before in a different competition, but I tried looking up footage of it. I didn't see it anywhere. Maybe that's on me. I'm not fully certain. Very hopeful, though, the Darkstar can pull something off in that matchup and move on through. Another robot I am very excited to see is Plusle and Minun. Actually, Minun and Plusle here. I'm a Pokemon nerd. A lot of people know that about me. They should have been in Brawl, but I digress. Minun and Plusle. Speaking of Team Honeycracked, that's another robot from that group over there. Is it going to be 2 6-pound drum bots? Very well could be. Maybe it's going to be something fun. Maybe something with some sort of electric theming to it, obviously, being the electric type. Pikachu clone gimmicks there. Hoenn. Shoutouts to Hoenn. They're taking on Hotbot. That's going to be an interesting fight. We got Uwumba taking on Frankenstein. First contact is going to get an automatic pass to the next round. Looks like Talk forfeited. Don't know anything about those 2 robots, to be honest. Got some message. That's something I can show off later. But here's a bit more, some more recognizable names here to talk about, guys. Timber Viper, I was just talking about that robot. Kevin Malcheski, he's had a great year. He's trying to make it an even better year. And he's going to be taking on Voxel from one of the dreaded. I shouldn't say dreaded. They're just very good robots. Very meta designs. Team defective robots there. 12-pound upscale of the 3-pound Voxel, which has just been a very, very long-standing force in the 3-pound class. We got Swagmore versus Honey Shock. I believe that's a battle of the Honey-Cracked robots. Herbie 3.0 taking on Avalanche. Avalanche, another drumbot. A very drumbot-heavy field, so definitely some shades to the 12-pound classes of old. Torrent versus ROB. Very interesting in that Torrential is a boss robot, but Torrent isn't. Both those robots very similar. And, you know, we saw Torrent and Torrential make some serious waves in the 12-pound class all the way back in January. Haven't really had much success since. I gotta be honest. We'd see them win one match here or there, but usually they've been getting torn apart by some of the bigger, more powerful robots in this field. Buzzkill, that's a robot that did very good last time we saw it, I believe back in June. Made it, what was it, to the top 8? They're still trying to qualify. They're going to be taking on Axis of Evil, the 12-pound version of Starchild, who we saw not really have much success at BattleBots, have a lot of success at NHRL in the past. Multi-time NHRL finalist, but he's been on a little bit of a slump with his robots. lately. Bit unfortunate to see Brandon Zielinski really trying to turn his fate around here. Another big story. Another big story we were talking about in the June event. The Colorado invasion. The Colorado contingent coming in strong, really tearing it apart. We saw Yahoo qualify for the finals. We saw Pepe Sylvia. That was a fun design. Nightcrawler, the only Colorado robot back this time around. And we saw Nightcrawler at Motorama. Did great there. It had a solid enough performance when we last saw it at NHRL. But this one, we'll have to see how it goes. It's taking on Vu 2, another vertical spinning drum style robot. That's going to be very interesting to see. Where's Grim Ripper? Grim Ripper, whatever. Baby Grim, that's the name of the robot. Is Baby Grim here? They were talking about Baby Grim being here, but I don't see it. I guess we'll just have to see what happens when the event actually goes down. Maybe that's for an upcoming NHRL event. I'm not too sure. But this all looks very good. Very excited for some of these matches. Buzzkill, Axis of Evil, Darkstar, Amphisbiana. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. I do apologize if the team is watching. Very excited specifically for Darkstar and Axis of Evil. Obviously, I'm a little bit of a homer there. I do like my... We got to at least bring it up once during the live stream. The Combot. Jesus. My mic came unplugged. Very cool, Kanye. Yes, the Combot Collective is proudly sponsored by robotsroommylife.com. We have been sponsored by them all year, and we will be going through it until the end of BattleBots Champions. They are the merchandise provider for numerous robot combat teams that you can see right here on the screen, such as Team Shreddit, such as the Omega Team, the classic Team P1. You can find merchandise for all these robots, such as Starchild, Shreddit Bro, Wake and Bake, of course, Ripperoni, probably one of the most beloved robots in the sport right now. You can buy the Ripperoni jacket. You can buy the Ripperoni stickers. You can buy the Ripperoni poker chips. You can even buy the Ripperoni pizza box. It's one of my favorite items, one of the most unique items on their website. You know, they also have their RRML lifestyle apparel. You can see it in the top left there. Get your Robots Ruin My Life tote bag. Get your Robots Ruin My Life jacket, the t-shirt, the hat. They have all sorts of fantastic things, and that's just the Omega Team, Shredder Bro robots, and what they have there. There is so much stuff. You want to live that House of Havoc experience, act like you're there at the event right now. They have so many shirts on this page that you can exclusively buy more often than not at the House of Havoc. We're talking about the NHRL shirts. We're talking about the Kyle shirts. We're talking about the Milk Tank shirts. Other robots that compete at NHRL. There are so many nice shirts that you can buy from robotsroommylife.com. So many nice sweatshirts, jackets, poker chips, buttons, prints, stickers. You know what we always talk about here at TCC. They have all this and more, so please be sure to check them out. robotsroommylife.com, as always, is linked in the description below. Be sure to take a gander like a goose and see it. Huge shout outs, lots of love and respect to Darkstar and Axis of Evil, my Omega Team homies. Very, very excited for that. And while I was holding the mic, the fucking this thing popped off. This thing hasn't come off in like years. So honest to God, I don't remember how to put it back on. We're not going to worry about that right now. Hopefully there's not too much echo without it. But I digress. Hope you all are still doing good this morning. I haven't brushed my teeth yet, so I have like the case of the Exactly Likes right now. I'm doing pretty good. I feel like the beard needs a little bit of a trim, don't you guys think? It's getting a little bit goatee there, but I digress. We're all doing pretty good here. The fights are probably going on as we speak in the 3-pound class, so I guess we should probably go over to 3-pound class next before any of these robots I'm talking about get eliminated. As we're about halfway through this preview live stream, one thing I gotta bring up, Ricky Willems. Oh, there we go. Talking about it here. Oh, let's go to the camera here. Alternate side, the robot that's going to be having a TCC logo on it, hopefully at the start of next year. Very Ribot-esque 4-wheel drive undercutter. Maybe we'll see an NHRL one day. I would certainly love to see it. Let's see what else we got here. going over to NHRL. Yes, this is something big I want to talk to you guys about. Very, very unfortunate. Oh, looks like we got some fight footage. Looks like we got some fight footage from my buddy, Jeff Waters. What is this? Test footage of a mixtape. Mixtape is at this event. We'll be talking a little bit about it here in a second. I'm trying to spark up a little bit. I need to spark one up. More than likely. As we wait for that to load. Not too much being said about some of these other developments happening here. Oh, that's right. Probably no mixtape fire. Maybe, maybe not. I should go ahead and read this. This is from Ricky Willems, who was talking about flame robots at this event. I'll just go ahead and read it word for word since it's a little bit off camera. Ricky Willems, of course, one of the men in charge at NHRL, probably one of their funniest commentators, if not their funniest commentator. Hello, everyone. I have an announcement regarding flame robots at this August event. This week, I've been leading a group of NHRL staff to test the cages for their ability to adequately contain and survive the blasts and fire involved when a ruptured fuel canister is ignited. In these tests, we work to create conditions that are comparable to worst-case scenario situations in terms of intensity of explosions. This including rapidly releasing full tanks of fuel in our arenas, aiding fuel mixture with the use of fans, and igniting the mixture. The results of these tests have been mixed. The 30-pound arena fared very well. We have made some modifications, but the structure was more than sufficient. The 3-pound cage testing was more problematic. The arena walls and metal structure were not appreciably harmed, but during the largest blast, the arena ceiling lifted from the arena. That's terrifying, allowing flames to escape for a brief period of time. While it is unlikely someone would be standing next to the arena would have a While it is unlikely that someone staying next to the arena would have been seriously injured in such an event, they still would be very close to uncontained flames and would possibly hit small bits of debris that tend to accumulate on the top of our cages. This is not an acceptable level of risk. So that doesn't very bode well for mixtape much. Maybe it does pull out of the competition because of that. Very unfortunate. Hopefully that's not the case, but we'll go ahead and see what happens here. Poor bot buster. No British bots at this event this time. I didn't think there were. Killy Pepper kind of snuck up on me along with the rest of the BBC contingent last time. None this time, it doesn't look like. Bit unfortunate, but, you know, we're going to be seeing a ton of them in the November finals by the looks of things. I'm talking about 3-pounders, talking about mixtape. Poor mixtape here. Mixtape from Evil Labs, ranked number 64. We'll see if it does compete. I have my doubts. We did just see some footage of it. I don't know if they'd allow it to just go in there as a push bot. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. Knowing how good Calvin Ebert is at driving, you know, he might still do pretty good, even with just that. We did get to see mixtape a little bit of open sauce in San Francisco, so hopefully we will get some footage on the NHRL channels sooner rather than later about that robot. What are some other Beetleweights to watch here? You know, you got to talk about a little bit of my Team Shreddit, Team Omega Bias, a bit more here. Let's go over Hurt Caboose from Angel Vidal. We've seen him pick up some success in some other competitions in the past recently with his own Maximizer-style robot. We saw him work with Tony D'Ambrosio using one of his robots to win a 1-pound championship very recently. We actually posted about that in our story on our TCC Instagram page. Very solid robot. It might be glad that mixtape isn't in the competition this time around because Hurt Caboose probably still has some PTSD from the burning it suffered from mixtape. What was it, last year? Late last year around this time? I don't remember exactly. Hurt Caboose, though, when it does get his chance to fight, it's a beautiful robot. You know, 2-wheel drive, beater drumbot, but not your cookie cutter version. You know, this robot custom built by Angel Vidal. Looks great. Love the cute little mascot it has by it. The robot looks great in blue, but I think it looks even hotter in red, I gotta say. Talking about other robots here. Talking about red robots. What about Half-Life from Team Half-Life? NHRL number 44 ranked. I told you guys I wanted to talk about some control bots in this competition. Half-Life kind of went under the radar for me the past couple of events. I watched it compete, but it really didn't capture my heart much. But, you know, it really did impress me when we fought to see it compete against Spitfire. I won't gush more and more about Spitfire. I didn't shut up about it enough in our last stream that we did for AMIDST Havoc. This time around, you know, it's not going to be able to pull off any crazy upsets, taking drone bots out of the air. But because of that massive performance last time around, I felt like I had to give it a little bit of love and give it the Beetle Wait to Watch treatment. Some other robots are worth watching out for. You know, Steel Mountain's going to be there. I believe Shreddit Bro is going to be there. Silent X, Jameson Go's robot, a very likely machine to win the competition. They're going to be there. Of course, Lynx is going to be there. Lynx is actually going to win the competition. What am I even saying? Here's a robot that just wants to reach the finals, though. Let's go to this last one real quick, talking about Chainsaw Kitty from the Sleepy Anime Girl Club. I love that name. NHRL rank number 13. That rank might only go up more and more and more with each event. Chainsaw Kitty has not missed an event outside the January competition since November. It has been consistent. It's been here. It's always made the top 16 more often than not. The one thing that's eluded her, the captain of this crew, is hello, testing, testing. Never held the mic this much, so the cord's just like giving me the whole Jesus take the wheel treatment. Chainsaw Kitty, though, I'll put it over a lot more when we talk about it. Tomorrow during our post-event stream, I have it written down as one of the numerous robots to follow for me for today's event. It's your classic four-wheel drive vertical spinner, but outside a lot of them, you know, it really does stand out as a bit unique. It has that four-wheel drive boxy bite force shape, but then it has that big fuck-off fur on the front, which, you know, just has huge shades of, you know, a Deep Six, or if you want to be more in class with it, a Division or a Drizzle. That weapon is terrifying. The robot looks great. The paint job's fantastic. I love the pink safety tag. You gotta give it up to this robot. I really, really hope it makes the finals this time around, or at least qualifies for the November finals. I mean, time's ticking. You know, we got this event and we got next event in September. And with the Indian contingent coming next event, might be a little bit tricky to qualify. I gotta say it. It's gonna be crunch time for a lot of big teams. Chainsaw Kitty from the Sleepy Anime Girl Club, a robot to definitely watch out for. And if Mixtape isn't there, we'll just go ahead and talk about it now. It's a bit of a substitute fill-in. Lynx. Lynx is there, and we've already talked about Lynx a ton during our recent Robot Combat Tonight episode 1. You can check out on our YouTube page. I think it's still the most recent episode. We're going to be recording our next episode after NHRL, talking about Robocore, talking about this event, talking about Extreme Robots, talking about one other event. Can't think of it off the top of my head. You know, getting 4-1 done there. Lynx is a very solid robot. It has not lost this year to my knowledge. It has over 100 career wins. And that's almost just NHRL alone. We've seen it win the RCE finals in Seattle this year. We've seen it win Robo Games this year. It is the back-to-back defending NHRL annual 3-pound champion. They're probably going to take it. Last time I saw that robot lose was against Spartan back in April of last year. So you definitely got to watch out for Lynx. At least one of the Calvin Eba robots will be there. But I digress. Let's now go ahead and take a look at what 3-pound matches are going to be on deck for us. A lot more this time, of course, as compared to the 12-pound class. Go over to our overlay here. A lot of boss bots. We'll see. Go through them here. Crash Fest, of course. Cemetery Drive, the much cooler version of Crash Fest. They're both in there. Caldera, a robot you can always expect with Glenn Boxall behind the wheel to be up at the top. Lynx, like I mentioned, I feel bad for anyone that draws Lynx in the second round. Apex is there. That's a drumbot. There's Chainsaw Kitty, Beetlejuice, Shreddit Bro, Synthesis, another robot which is already qualified. Spartan, somehow missed Spartan. Johnny Supas there. Speaking of Spartan, shout outs to After Image. He is now working on the second rendition of his new heavyweight, which we will hopefully see at BattleBots 2024. I would love to see it. A robot from the Bahamas. Wouldn't that be awesome to see in BattleBots? We got Spartan, the Soul Bahamas representative, here, though, at this competition. Same shameless self-promotion from BNS Robotics. Seth Schaefer is also here with Division. We're going to be the second time we've seen Division this year. First time since the March event. Really didn't perform well at all. Hopefully we can see a much better result this time around. Wicked Twister. Half-Life. Look at that Half-Life moving up in the world. Now a boss robot. That's exciting to see. Prom 3 a boss level robot. I'm not sure if I agree with that yet. I don't think it's impressed me to that point. Wormhole, a boss level robot. Shouts to Wormhole, another friend of the Combot collective. I really hope we can see him turn some heads at this competition. Knee Biter, not dead yet. Polywhip, all also in this. But let's talk about the fights that we do have coming up. Is Silent X not in that? That's a little bit surprising. There's a whole lot of 3-pound classes. Good lord. We got Sea Dragon's Roar taking on Nightlight. Emotional Dream taking on Orcus. Mixtape and potentially going to fail has forfeited. That's very on brand for the robot, but it is very unfortunate because I love the charisma behind that driver. Mixtape might be a double forfeit for all we know. Geez, I wonder how that's going to end up going down. Hive Smashing from the Honey Cracked crew is going to be taking on Steel Mountain, essentially a beetleweight version of Depth Charge, a robot we'll be talking about here very soon. Hopefully we can see Steel Mountain pick up some wins at this competition. Hurt Caboose is going to be taking on Bison. Shouts to Angel Vidal once again. Hopefully we can see him pull off a big victory there. Nitro Hornet from my boy Badnik96 is going to be taking on Cybot. Fallout versus Softlock. Uchfunt taking on Cutthroat Cuddles. What else stands out here? Catastrophe taking a victory over Tothic via forfeit. ER Stingray is back, talking about robots that are very much like Yoshimi, taking on Instant Regrets. Ratfish versus Division. Now, this is a fun one. We got Florida's two-wheel drive lifter bot, one of the more consistent lifter bots in the 3-pound class, taking on one of the true powerhouse, one of the most destructive robots in the field. Oh, I wonder what's going to happen there. That's going to be intriguing. Stag Beetlebot has fallen out of the boss ranks to take on Red Hawk. I believe that's another two-wheel drive horizontal spinner. Jack Ketch, another Team Shreddit Bro robot. Fireball, that's a big one. Fireball, we're going to be seeing the 250-pound version of at Proving Grounds very, very soon. We'll have to be talking about that in a future TCC video. Something to watch out for there. Shouts to everyone who watched the TCC August Proving Grounds preview, by the way. That video did great considering how our videos usually do. I think it was 666 views last I saw it. Almost 1,000, road to 1,000. Try to get it there, everybody. And shouts to BattleBots for sharing that video. That made my day. Let's go down to some of the more lower tier robots here. Who else is in this 3-pound class? These are some of the more new robots. Positively Hysterical versus the Meddlesome Swan. That's a shit post fight if I've ever seen one. I believe, and I might be incorrect, Meddlesome Swan is a lifter bot with a duck head as the lifter. It's a very cookie cutter design, but it's just a fun looking design. Positively Hysterical, though. We all know this robot. It's everybody's favorite new robot from 2023. I wonder what crazy weapon it's going to have this time. We've seen the hammer. We've seen the stamps. We've seen the bouquet. We've seen it even have a hammer saw, an actual weapon. Evil Twin. There's no Evil Twin in this one. We'll have to see what happens this time around. Hyperdrive is forfeited, unfortunately, against Natural Consequences. That's unfortunate. I love how Hyperdrive looks. Cancerberry versus Pickle Rick. Beambuster versus Avox. Kazaa taking on Claustrophobia. Kazaa, I think that's a robot from the last event. Count Forcula, also a robot from the last event. NHRL did. What else we got here? A lot of robots that we haven't seen before. Off Kilter 2 versus Funfetti. There's a battle between two veterans. That might be an intriguing early match to take in. Crash Test. I wonder if that has anything to do with Crash Fest. Flying Purple Peter. Here we go. Flying Purple People Eater is going to be the one facing Silent X. That is very, very unfortunate for FPPE. Wumbo. There's a robot that really kind of got screwed over with a tough draw against Spitfire early on in the competition. Last time we had an NHRL event. They're going to be taking on Knight in the first round. I don't know what Knight is. We'll have to see what happens. Yes, here's a good one. Valkyrie taking on Yes Chef. Yes Chef from Alex Peza, another friend of the Combot Collective. When we were doing After the Havoc, he was a regular guest. I am very excited to see how this cutting board killer does against what is essentially, if I remember correctly, a 3-pound version of Valkyrie. You know, we know that the 30-pound version of Valkyrie, Kablooey Tango, is a monster. We will talk about more about that robot later on in the video as we start getting closer to the end of our stream here. Only 18 minutes left. stream, replugging the mic. I gotta be honest. I do apologize for that. A lot of very, very interesting matches here. Gotta say, though, I think Yeschev versus Valkyrie, there's a lot of big money appeal in what is essentially a early round matchup. I hope that match makes stream. It very well could have happened by now, as we're getting farther and further in to this first hour of action at NHRL. But let's talk about the big boys as we start wrapping it up here. Final 17 minutes of our stream. 30-pound robots to look out for. And I was a little worried when I read about that fire warning that Ricky Williams gave out. Hello? Glue for my cord or something. This is tripping me out. I was worried about this announcement of this robot still being in the field after, Ricky Williams talked about the fire situation. But from what I'm seeing right now, it looks like they're still in. It looks like they're still going to compete. I guess we're just going to have to see how it plays out. We're down to 6 30-pound robots. That's a little depressing. I'm sorry. 6 30-pound matches. I'm an idiot. 10 30-pound robots. That's a little depressing. But we kind of knew it was going to be a small amount entering this. Big chance for a lot of these robots, though, to qualify for this competition, to make it into the November finals, because shit, that's almost half of them that are going to make it in. In fact, maybe even more than half, factoring in that Kablooey Tango has already qualified. I think that's honestly it, to be honest. I don't know if Polyesther has already qualified. I digress. Let's talk about these robots. There we go. I already mentioned Depth Charge at the top of the stream. Talked about it a little bit during Steel Mountain. Team Overboard, Dustin S. Wines returned to the sport after having a pair of beautiful babies, a couple of lovely twins. Number 45 ranked, fitting. This robot weighs 45 pounds. It is known for probably the most infamous moment in NHRL history of it destroying the NHRL arena alongside James. Shame there's no James here. Shame we can't run that one back. But Depth Charge, number 45 ranked. It is a weapon without wheels. It is literally a box and a big fuck-off horizontal spinner. I feel bad for any robot that draws it. And the first robot that draws it, according to this bracket here, is Fracas. Bottom picture here. We saw Fracas last compete during, I want to say, the May NHRL competition, and it was taking on, robots such as Shibata, and Ripperoni. It got eviscerated by Ripperoni. It had to forfeit out of the competition very early on. It was very unfortunate. And it's really a shame because Fracas had a very, very impressive, April or March? They almost made it to the finals as a control bot. This is a huge chance for him to make finals. I'm glad that he decided to repair the robot, Bone Dead Robotics here, because I would have hated to see this dude just be a one and done, retired robot after too much damage. Super excited to see how they do here, but they got to make it past Depth Charge first. I want to see some suplexes by Fracas, man, especially suplexes against a smaller robot such as the duo of Polyesther. One of the other boss robots in this group alongside Kablooey Tango, our defending number 1 seed. NHRL rank number 13, very high from the WPI contingent, that Team Ribbot crew. So many solid robots from this team. They come loaded and loaded. I think they've already got Waddles qualified. They already got STF qualified. So Polyesther, I guess, is their next project to try to get into the big dance at the very end of the year. I mean, it's a winning combo of two, above 12-pound robots. Poly, of course, a big version of Polywog, 4-wheel drive, big egg beater on the front. Esther, 4-wheel drive, very solid undercutter for its shape and proportions. This is a very dynamic duo. We've seen it do great in the past. We've seen it do good against other cluster bots. We'll see how it does this time because it is the sole cluster bot in this field. Going back to Fracas real quick, we already talked about Red Storm a little bit when we were going over the 12-pound robots. Fracas versus Red Storm, a battle of the control bots. I would love to see that. If that happened, though, it's going to have to be pretty late into the bracket because they're both taking on some big-time spinners early on. Who else we have here? Yamato. Here's the robot I was worried about not appearing in the field due to the flame restrictions that we might be dealing with. I'm not too sure what's going on there, to be completely honest. From Team 57, Yamato 2. And yes, that crazy looking thing. That's just how the robot looks. We saw some glimpses of it on Brett Vision when we were doing Amidst the Havoc. What was it? Time before last. We got a peek of this robot. It is crazy. It is a turret flamethrower. It doesn't move fast. It looks more like an arena hazard than a competitor in the field. But it's just crazy design. And that's one thing I love about NHRL is sometimes you'll see the most outlandish, the craziest designs compete in these competitions. And they're crazy and goofy until they work. I mean, look at Hot Wings last time around when we saw that robot compete. It's qualified for an NHRL finals, and it's nothing more than a hugger with some heating elements on it. It's crazy. It shouldn't work, and it does. Maybe Yamato 2 can join the Why Does This Work club this time around with such a small field. It's going to be tough, though, as we now go over to the bracket for our class here. And like I mentioned, only 6 slots here for matches. It's going to be interesting to see how the top 16 works for a bracket that only has 10 robots. Maybe 2 of them don't make it in and they do a top 8 instead. We got Darthbot versus Pipe Bomb. Pipe Bomb was originally going to be in my robots to watch out for. I didn't put them in solely because I couldn't find a good picture of the robot. If you don't know Pipe Bomb, that's okay. Pipe Bomb is a regular at Motorama, assuming that this is the same robot. It is essentially very much similar to Panja Drum. Sorry. Voice is starting to give out on me, boys. It's very similar to Panja Drum, who we saw compete during the last NHRL event, but it's a lot skinnier. It's a lot thicker, it's a lot beefier, and when it does get contact on a robot, it hits a lot harder. We've seen it do some very solid out performances at Motorama over the last couple of years. It's been at Motorama exclusively NARC for quite some time, finally making its NHRL debut here, and I am so excited to see it. Maybe the builder was inspired by Panja Drum and said, well, if that robot can make it to the top 16, mine can. Maybe they can make it all the way to the finals. Such a small field. Shouldn't take too much. Don't know much about Darthbot. I got to be honest with y'all. Hopefully Pipe Bomb wins that. Vorion versus Yamato 2. Vorion, another robot from Bone Dead Robotics. They've already gotten Phenomenon qualified for the November finals. It appeared in I want to say the May Championship against Megatron, another robot which is already qualified. Vorion is essentially just the sequel to Phenomenon. It looks good. I love the tiger stripes on it. And it's going to be fighting Yamato 2. Prayers up for Yamato 2. They're going to need it. That's a tough draw right here. Synthesis 30. This is a very intriguing one. We saw Synthesis 30 debut last time around. It took on the robot it was directly inspired by, Emulsifier. Got its ass handed to it. It's going to have a little bit an easier challenge this time around with Red Storm, the 30-pound Claw Viper. Could even say the second version of Siege Rager, since Claw Viper's lineage did start in that 30-pound weight class. This is going to be good. Obviously, Kevin Molcheski is a bulldog of a driver, very aggressive. The robot's very quick, like all of his other machines. If he can get behind Synthesis, get to the sides of the Synthesis, this is still a little bit of an unproven robot. Maybe he can turn some heads here and try to get into that boss round to fight either Kablooey Tango or Polyesther. Fracas versus Depth Charge. We just went over this one a little bit. Fracas is going to have to also put together a perfect fight. Try to take Depth Charge into the wall and recreate the James incident. Try to get that robot to break itself pretty much. Depth Charge. I really want to see this robot qualify for the November finals. Take on the best of the best. Machines from around the world like Chibata, like Kitchen Grill, like Megatron. Those are 3 nation powerhouses right there on their own. Very interesting to see, by the way. I might be incorrect, but I think Chibata is still the only Brazilian robot qualified for the November finals. With so many Brazilians last year, it's kind of a crazy thing to say that the robot from the meme team is the team that's done so well thus far. But hey, the robot's just been that damn good. And it might have even done good at Robocore. I almost said Robovore. That's a whole different genre. But I digress. Last thing to look at here, of course, the boss robots, Kablooey Tango and Polyesther. Both very solid robots. Kablooey Tango actually my pick to win this class this time around, as now with 8 minutes left, 2 things left to look at, 3 things actually. My predictions. Who is going to win these classes? I really didn't think too much outside the box for this group of robots, obviously. I stuck with the meta, stuck with some serious picks here. In a 3-pound class, of course. It's got to be Lynx. I mean, doesn't it? It just has to be Lynx. I say about every event it competes in, and more often than not, in fact, every time, what am I saying more often than not? Every single time I have been correct. It's been Lynx. Robot games, it was Lynx. RCE finals, it was Lynx. It's going to be Lynx, guys. The only robot I can see directly competing with it is Silent X. We'll have to see how that goes. Maybe Spartan. Spartan has knocked it out before. That's a big thing to look out for. Maybe. In the 12-pound class, I got Cthulhu, though I would not be mad at all if it was Axis of Evil or Darkstar. I just think this is Cthulhu's chance. We have Maximizer and we have Super Scope, the two prior event winners from the University of Cincinnati, already also in this, what is a small field, all things considered, for the 12-pound class. But you know what? I'm going to go Cthulhu. I think we're going to see back-to-back Cincinnati championships, all with different robots. I think it's going to be beautiful. Cthulhu was such a sick robot. I love delivery. I love the style. I love the big light on the back that starts pulsating whenever there's so much energy is getting charged through to the robot. I want to see this robot take it, man. And if it can even run it back and defeat Super Scope in the finals, or maybe even Maximizer, so be it. I would really like to see it happen. And then in the 30-pound class, and I guess this kind of leads into our stories to follow for the event this time around. If you followed us on social media or you saw this on Reddit, maybe these are some big things to talk about in this event. And I'm going to take this mic behind this shed after this stream, dude. I swear. And all these stories to follow actually connect directly with robots I have picking to win this thing. Kablooey 3-peat. It's back-to-back NHRL event victories in the 30-pound class. Will Lucy Doo make it 3? Well, I think it will. This is not a stacked group of robots here. Depth Charge, I think, will get outdriven by Kablooey Tango. Polyesther has too much weight diluted between the two robots. Fracas might have a chance, but the driving is going to need to be perfect. Same with Red Storm. Sometimes the NHRL judges like to lean towards the other robot, the more destructive robot. Varian might provide a chance, but I think the Undercutter will take him there. Synthesis 30, maybe. Pipe Bomb, I don't think there's enough for that robot to bite into. Darthbot's a big question mark for me. I don't know what that machine looks like. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a Kablooey 3-peat. I think this robot's really going to establish itself as maybe the best 30-pounder in the world right now. Kind of a crazy thing to say after we saw Nitro do so well at Labman Fight Fest, Amnesia do so well there as well. But hey, 3 straight championships in what is maybe the best, most stacked field, all things considered. You know, he's won the Kablooey's won the brackets with Chibata. Kablooey's won the brackets with Kitchen Grill in it. It knows how to beat these international opponents. So hey, why not give it that credit? Why not give it that shout out? We already talked a little bit at the 12-pound class. The Bear Cat Brigade. I already mentioned it. University of Cincinnati returns with all 3 of their signature 12-pounders, and they're all going to go far into the bracket. I would not be surprised if the semifinal looks like Maximizer, Super Scope, Cthulhu, and some other robot. Hopefully Darkstar. And then the return of Eba, making his first NHRL official showing. Of course, like I mentioned, he did show up at Open Sauce, but that was in-state. This is his first time making it across the country to compete. He has Mixtape, he has Lynx. Mixtape is in limbo, but we all know that Lynx, it is that damn good. I mean, like I mentioned, Silent X maybe to beat it. I really don't know. But there we go. Those are my predictions for who will win these classes. Lynx, Cthulhu, and Kablooey Tango. I believe I went 1 for 3 last time. I said Silent Spring was going to win. That was the only one I got correct. I know Mantine's going to be watching. He's going to be praying for the horizontal spinner sweep. And if we do get a Silent X, Cthulhu, and Kablooey top 3 as our champions, he'll be happy. He'll be jumping up and down somewhere. But it's not always about who wins. Let's go ahead and go over to our last thing we want to look at here. Qualified robots all ready for the finals. Some of these machines are already in, and some of them are in the field today. Going over to the 3-pound class first. This is a robot that test. There we go. David Smalls, Puka, Kickstart. We haven't seen much of. Wicked Twister. Wicked Twister is going to be competing today. That's exciting. Offbeat. Chubby Unicorn, winner of the March event. Voxel, Beetlejuice, another robot we're going to be seeing today. Clyde, a robot, very unfortunate, will not be here. I don't think they were going to be there anyway, but now we've heard about the fire issues inside the 3-pound arenas. Definitely not. Droopy, a contender, likely to win this whole thing this year. They're already qualified. Caldera's already qualified, our top seed in the 3-pound class. Fully Defined, Synthesis, they're both in. Synthesis also competing today. Silent Spring, looking to be joined by Silent X before it's all said and done today. They're in. Jet Lag is in. Lars is taking a much-needed break from this event. Hot Wings, I already mentioned them earlier. They're in. And Blackbird, saving last for not least there. I really hope they can pull off the championship in their likely final run as a full-time robot. Tony D'Ambrosio with Blackbird, that would just make my day. Going over to the less loaded 12-pound class, Torrential and Torrent, they're in there. Yoshimi, we're going to be finally watching that robot fight again today. They're there. From the University of Florida, we have Hooligan. They're in. Another vertical spinner. Another Jameson Go robot. Psycho, they're in. Of course, a whole plethora of Team Defective robots. Prom Hada, Carmen, Crunk, they're already in. Voxel as well. Full Court had a pretty awful showing, all things considered, the last time we saw it, but they have already qualified. The Mad Catter Minibot. Blackjack already qualified. Maximizer, of course, a champion event before last. They're already in. Same with Cthulhu and Super Scope. That Bear Cat Brigade I brought up, they're already in. The Old School Disco from the Dorfler family, they're already in, along with their robot, Huge, the 12-pound representative of the Huge family. They're both into the final. And then in the 30-pound class, the big boys, we have EVA, a robot that has been all over pretty much every single arena that you can have a 30-pound robot in this year, whether it be Motorama, whether it be Robo Brawl, whether it be NHRL. They have been there. Squire, representing the DFW. I got on a Rangers hat right now. Of course I do. They're already qualified. Kablooey Tango, they qualified in January, and they still haven't missed an event. They're just making themselves as better and better, making themselves as good as they remotely can. Death Pact also qualified. We haven't seen them since January, but they haven't been too hot. They probably aren't going to do that well in the November finals, if I got to be brutally honest. One robot that will be doing great in that November finals, Megatron. Jameson Go, dominance once again. He has won once in every single class this year in NHRL. He is the defending BattleBots champion. I say it every time, but he's really in that Carlo Bertoncini phase of his life. Phenomenon, the victim of Megatron. STF, the beautiful horizontal spinner from the Ribot squad. Anxiety from the Robo Jackets. Yahoo from the microphone. You want to work with me? There we go. Agent P coming from Toronto. They've already qualified. And then at the very end, we have our defending NHRL annual champion, Emulsifier. It got knocked out of the top 8, as did its sibling Knockoff White last time. But because of their high ranking in NHRL, they both still made it to the final last time around. Part of the reason why I thought Red Storm got a little bit screwed over. Hopefully we can see them bounce it back this time. Knockoff White and Emulsifier capping off our 30-pound qualified robots. We're going to be seeing 12 more robots join this elite class of robots, and I'm going to have to make a second page for who is qualified and who hasn't here pretty soon. When this night ends, I'm very excited to see as to who those robots are going to be. But hey, look at the clock. It's 9 a.m., everybody. That means it's almost time to start wrapping things up. Let's take a peek at the NHRL stream real quick and see, as I leave these finals qualified robots on the screen just for a second longer so I can pull up what exactly NHRL is doing to kick off the stream today. What robots are already inside the arena. It is a hot bot summer. That's right. That's what they're calling this one. I love it. Loading up. Oh, looks like we got... What is that, SSP? Oh no, this is Jerry Seinfeld. What a name. Jerry Seinfeld taking on Scab Armor. So this is definitely the early challenger rounds, huh? And it looks like an early challenger round 5. We got 2 robots that have half drive. That's one thing you definitely get used to seeing when you watch these NHRL events, especially early on. A lot of robots with just... What's going on with that weapon? Is that weapon supposed to be that far outward? That's why I love NHRL. These robots are fucking mental. Look at that thing. There's no way that's safe. It is an SSP kit with a spinner stuck on the end of it. That's not going to be on there for long because it's getting its ass handed to it right now. I think this is the same team that makes the Apex robot, the Beetlejuice robot. This is a school team that has a lot of robots. It's tearing apart this machine here. But I digress. You don't want to hear my commentary. You probably want to hear the amazing voice of Luke and Clyde Magnuson. All of those great people. I feel horrible. I can't remember his actual name right now. I know I'm going to remember it right after the stream, and I'm going to hate myself for that. Chris T.C.C. That's my boy. That's the name. Ricky Williams as well. And all black robots now inside the arena. Yeah, let's go ahead and get you guys out of here so you can watch this event yourself. This has been the Combot Collective, and this has been... Oh, not yet. And this has been another Amidst the Havoc episode. We've officially previewed almost every single robot in the field. A lot of the big names. You saw my predictions. Let's get it for, Cthulhu, Lynx, and Kablooey Tango so I can go 3 for 3 and Fortnite dance on y'all when we come back tomorrow morning because, yes, we will be doing a post-show event tomorrow, same time. Hopefully my dog doesn't get sick so I can actually do the live stream. And we can actually go ahead and get into it. I took so many notes last time, and I did it for absolutely no reason because I had no chance to record the video. I had no chance to do the post stream, and it kind of killed me inside. But I digress. Let's get to watching some robots fight, everybody. I am your host, as always, here at the Combot Collective, Sterling Brown, a.k.a. SterlingTXTG on Instagram. If you like the Combot Collective, you like this live stream, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, join the Discord server. I brought it up at the top of the video, and please... subscribe to the YouTube page. We are almost at 550 subscribers. We want to hit 600 before the end of the year. We'd like to get even more than that, but, beggars can't be choosers. We take what we can get here, baby. Constructive criticism, as always. We love it. We love it so much. We want to get better every day here at TCC. But thank you all so much for watching. Big shouts to Darkstar. Big shouts to Axis of Evil. We're praying for you guys. We want y'all to win. We got y'all's parts right here. We give y'all our support. We give y'all our energy. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of TCC Amidst the Havoc. We will see you all tomorrow. Same time, very early, 8 a.m. Be there or be square. Toodaloo, y'all. Let's go watch some Norwalk. Oh, Boombox is at this event. That's crazy.